News 25 is brought to you by Golden Casino Group, where you'll always find great fun, good food, and fantastic entertainment, all at Gold Town, Lakeside, and the Pahrump Nugget. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-990 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, a local doctor makes his second run for the legislature, and county commissioners take a closer look at Belmont's water. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
A kickoff party is held for an assembly candidate. It's Friday, September 27th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, Dr. Joseph Bradley has kicked off his campaign for assembly in District 36. The doctor, who has opened up his therapy clinic right here in Pahrump, is running for the second time. Bradley points out why he thinks he is the better choice than the incumbent in the upcoming election.
You know, I signed the Taxpayer Protection Pledge, period. I'm not going to vote ever to raise taxes under any circumstance. I do not believe that mistakes of bad leadership should be passed on to the people. And I think that's what taxes are.
It went wonderful. Lots of good people, and I'm just so honored all the people that had such nice things to say. We had very happy that Chris Arabia, our district attorney, showed up and had some nice things to say. We had Dave Marlin, who's the president of the State of Nevada Association of Addiction Professionals, Mark Spicer, who just wanted to speak on my behalf. We've known each other and been friends for a while. He's a former combat Marine. He was deployed both in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he just basically knows how passionate I am about veterans, and he spoke, and it's just been wonderful. I think the one thing that I find that's most important is when I ran last time, I earned votes. My wife and I were out in 100-degree weather, pounding in signs, going door to door, talking to people on the debate. At the end of this, the current assemblyman, he's unelected. He was appointed, didn't do any work to earn that. He then did not sign the Taxpayer Protection Pledge. I have signed the Taxpayer Protection Pledge. He did vote to increase taxes. I would never vote to increase taxes. I think I had mentioned me and Dennis actually spoke somewhat frequently and actually got along quite well. And one of the reasons we got along so well is because we had similar belief systems on how we thought the state should be represented. Both of us stood for no new taxes, both huge advocates for preservation of the Second Amendment, and both wanting to protect the water rights, not allow them to be basically taken over and turned into a utility company or more regulated by the state. And we agreed on those. So I had a nice base of people that voted for me, and I think the people that had voted for Dennis, if they look at where my stance is and is, I think they would find that a vote for him would be like a vote for me. I was in law enforcement. At one point, I even was flying planes. I was pursuing a private pilot's license. I'm a licensed chiropractic physician. I am doing my candidacy for my degree in clinical psychology. I have a master's degree in substance abuse counseling and education. I'm board certified in addiction. I have a diploma in addiction treatment, and I'm an educator. I teach for a certifying college for professionals, and I've been an educator basically my entire adult life.
Well, a nuisance complaint was filed about the Belmont's water nitrate levels.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, discussion was had regarding a nuisance complaint in Belmont, Nevada, alleging that there are high levels of nitrate in the water and wells that were drilled illegally. In the beginning of the item, there was a problem regarding the acceptance of additional pages of backup provided by Neil Jones, who is the one who reported the alleged nuisance. The issue was whether or not to accept the documents and continue the meeting to another day, or to not accept them and make a determination that day. Commissioner Wick Wickman made a motion to abate the issue, which was to accept the additional documents, have the public hearing, and make a determination another meeting. The motion passed 3-2. Just before the hearing began, there was a small problem where attorney Arlette Newvine believed there was a conflict of interest on this item regarding Commissioner Wickman. However, Wickman stated she gains nothing and they are only constituents. She refused to not refrain from voting and the hearing continued.
At issue here are the water wells that the property owners had drilled in which they did not abide by or conform to the existing laws of the state of Nevada with respect to having sufficient acreage to drill the wells and maintaining the mandated separation between the wells and their existing septic systems, thereby leading to the possible contamination of their wells and then the possible contamination of the water aquifer as a whole for everyone else in the town of Belmont. The negligent actions of the property owners, thereby creating the nuisance, is the illegal drilling of their domestic wells. These wells were drilled in the spring of 2015. The property owners did not maintain the mandated spatial relationships to their existing septic systems, referred to as an individual sewage disposal system or an ISDS. The concept of attempting to grandfather the combination of these systems in because the ISDS have existed for a number of years before the wells were drilled does not alleviate the responsibility of the property owners to abide by the well-known and well-documented laws of the state in place at the time they drilled their wells and their responsibilities to keep from creating a nuisance.
After Neil Jones, a group came up to disprove a portion of Neil Jones' nuisance complaint in which it said that owners of Motis Family Trust, Donna and Edwin Motis, have a well that has shown a 61% increase in the nitrate levels in the well water year over year.
Our well water has been tested 4 times since 2015 and has never exceeded the contamination level on any test. Mr. Jones's comment that our well water has shown a 61% increase in nitrate levels year over year is a creative use of words. The maximum contamination level established by the U.S. EPA for nitrates is 10. The actual number results from our well water tests show that the nitrates level have never exceeded 2.8 since our well was drilled, with the most recent test result of 2.4.
After the public hearing was over, the item ended and will be continued another meeting.
More news right after this break.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Pahrump Cardiology, located at 1397 South Loop Road in Pahrump, Nevada. Call 775-210-8333 for an appointment. Dr. Talley Eric, proudly serving Pahrump since 2005.
Welcome back. Well, the foldable phone is having some issues. That and more in today's Business News.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, the U.S. economy continues to click along, but at a modest rate. The government reports GDP grew 2% in the second quarter. That is much slower than the 3% growth rate at this time last year. The CEO of Huawei tells CNBC the Chinese tech giant is willing to exclusively license 5G technology to a company in the U.S. to create a level playing field. Samsung has reworked its foldable phone. The new Galaxy is expected to go on sale today. The smartphone was slated to launch last spring, but broke when folded by reviewers. The Galaxy Fold sells for just under $2,000. Tesla shares are on a wild ride. That stock perked up on a report that the electric car company has a shot at delivering a record 100,000 cars this quarter.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, Nevada State College President Bart Patterson presented the annual State of the College address to community members and stakeholders, highlighting the 2018-2019 successes as well as the goals and challenges for the next year. Patterson announced that the construction has begun on the college's first student housing complex. The 342-bed project is crucial for Nevada State College as it will attract students from across the state and boost retention and graduation rates. The complex will be ready for students starting fall of 2020 and will be located on the school's campus. Let's go to Unette Gentry with what's happening in our courts.
In this week's court report, Todd A. LaCour is now facing the formal charges of both sexual assault and sexually motivated coercion after admitting to police that he engaged in sexual acts that were not in agreement with his acknowledged sexual arrangement with the victim. LaCour was arrested on a sexual assault charge after a woman who moved in with LaCour into his motorhome 2 weeks prior filed a report with NCSO regarding LaCour anally penetrating her without consent on various occasions. Probable cause was found regarding the charges against LaCour, and during his first appearance, LaCour was advised of that and his bail was set at $50,000 cash or bond. The defendant motioned for an OR release, but the court denied that motion and set a formal arraignment date. On that date in court, LaCour was screened as to his financial status. The court appointed attorney Brent Percival to represent him as his public defender. The court invoked the defendant's right to a speedy preliminary hearing and set it. Then LaCour was remanded back to the custody of the Nye County Detention Center. During LaCour's prelim, attorney Percival advised that defense received an offer just the day before from the state and was sure that the defendant was going to accept it, so the witnesses were called off. The defendant reviewed the offer, but it was rejected. Attorney Percival provided an executed waiver of the 15-day rule and motioned to reset this matter for a preliminary hearing. The prosecution concurred. Then the court admonished all parties for that continuance and reset preliminary hearing. LaCour was again remanded to the custody of NCDC. Then on that continued court date, both parties stated that they are ready to proceed, and attorney Percival motioned to invoke the exclusionary rule. The court granted that motion, and the state's witnesses were sworn in and testified, including a female, Deputy Cody Murphy, and Detective Harry Means. Based on the victim's testimony, the prosecution motioned to amend the criminal complaint, adding a count of sexually motivated coercion. Attorney Percival opposed. However, the court granted that motion to add the additional count. After closing arguments, the court found that the state has met its burden of proof for counts 1 and 2. Finally, the court orders LaCour bound over to appear in district court, and LaCour remained in custody. Formal charges are still pending in justice court for Carly Leah Moore, the area woman arrested connected to the offenses of domestic battery first and child abuse or neglect first, after initial reports of a physical domestic incident that occurred at Albertsons. The victim is Moore's 16-year-old granddaughter, and the witness is the young girl's boyfriend. The underage victim stated she was pregnant, so Moore was driving them to Quest Diagnostics for a blood draw. But things escalated when the girl did not want to go inside, and she says her grandma began digging her nails into her palm and punching that young girl several times in the stomach. Moore was arrested after she was determined to be the physical aggressor and after investigators observed injuries sustained by that young victim. Notably, other witnesses say on other occasions, Moore has also been accused of other domestic violence-related acts. This has been your court report. I'm Unette Gentry for News 25.
Thanks, Unette. Well, News 25 will return right after this break.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
All right, well, let's go to Josh Osborne, who's going to tell you about apps for your computer.
Reporting from my man cave, it's Josh from Pahrumph's Own Great Computer Deals, and it's time for another quick tutorial.
Windows Apps Part 2. In our last video, we explained what Windows apps are, but now let's give you an example of why you might want to download some. For this example, we'll use Facebook. Normally when you use Facebook, you have to open up your browser, type in their website address, and log in. But what if we downloaded the free Facebook app from the Windows Store? Would that be better? Well, we'll let you decide. Now instead of a web page style, we're presented with a more clean, polished, simpler user interface that is designed by Facebook specifically for Facebook users. For help on downloading new apps on your machine, stay tuned for part 3 of our video.
Still need help? Come to our store where you'll find low prices and friendly faces. We're located at 1190 East Highway 372, or call us at 775-990-8833.
Thanks, Josh. Well, today is day number 2 of the Pahrump Fall Festival, and lots of fun was had last night at the 55th annual event. Thursday night, the Pahrump Fall Festival kicked off its first night of the 4-day event being held at Petrick Park. The vendor booth, Vegas Amusement, and Entertainment got their feet wet on what we call Locals Night. Starting out at 3:45 in the afternoon was the Color Guard, followed on stage by Dallas King, DJ Dread, and the karaoke winners, Dean West and the Smoking Gun Band, and ending the evening with Single Action 44. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is entertainment on the stage with lots of bands, a talent competition, a pet contest, which begins at noon, the band Incognito, Moody Scott, Ear Candy, and then Saturday the day begins with a parade starting at Oxbow, traveling south on Highway 160 to Dandelion Street. That begins at 9 a.m. Roads are closed by the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 8. Sunday there is a church service at the stage. The classic rock band Vintage Double Barrel will be performing with the Gunfighters. There's also games and activity happening all weekend long at the entertainment stage. And of course, stop by the many vendor booths to see our local businesses here in town representing, as well as lots of food. Friday and Saturday night is the rodeo in McCullough Arena from 6 to 9 p.m. And don't forget, Davis Amusements is there. You can buy an all-day pass for $32. Arts and crafts are once again in the Bob Roode Community Center. There's a horseshoe tournament happening and a car show. Have fun at this weekend's Fall Festival at Petrick Park. We'll see you there.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, let's take a look outside on that Lerner and Rowe weather cam. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be lovely for tomorrow's parade. I heard there's going to be some wind, though, so you might want to watch out for that and be prepared, especially if you are entering the parade. We'll find out more with our weather forecast right after this break.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donohue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 93 degrees and a low of 71. Death Valley, their temperatures are starting to come down just a little bit. Their high is going to be 101 with a low of 74. Amargosa at 90 degrees with a low of 64. Beatty at 87.57. 81.46 in Goldfield. 80.46 in Tonopah. Carson City at 78.48. Fallon, 85 with a low of 49. And finally, Fernley, a high of 83 with a low of 47 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw nice sunny skies. Our high today was 88 degrees. Winds coming out of the south at 15 miles per hour. Our humidity at 36%, and our sunrise at 6:35 this morning. Now for tonight, nice clear skies. It's currently 86 degrees outside. Our low tonight is going to be 65 degrees. Winds coming out of the southeast at 18 miles per hour, 39% humidity, and 6:33 tonight for our sunset. Now looking ahead to our 7-day, not too many changes. We are seeing some nice sunny skies all throughout next Friday. Saturday for tomorrow, we are expecting some high winds. That is now up to 28 mile per hour winds, so please anchor down anything that may be loose in your yard. Temperature-wise, we're seeing the exact same pattern as yesterday. On Saturday, we're going to be seeing a high of 82 degrees and a low of 52. We're going to drop down just a little bit through Monday down to 71 with a low of 46. Then our temperatures are going to start coming back up just a little bit by next Thursday and Friday. We're going to be seeing highs in the low 80s and our overnights in about those mid-50s. So we're going down to go right back up again. Not sure what Mother Nature really has planned right now. But with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thanks so much, Michael. We want to remind everybody that Basin Avenue is closed from Highway 160 just up there to Boot Hill, so you do need to take alternate routes, and that is for the safety of the festival goers. We want to remind everybody that tomorrow will be windy for that parade, so definitely bad hair day for the viewers, but it's going to be something that you want to pay attention to, especially if you are going to be an entrant into the parade, to make sure to tie things down. KPVM-TV is, of course, airing the Fall Festival Parade on our 7 digital channels. We, of course, will have that available on Facebook as well. And we're hoping that everybody has a great time. Get out there early because the roads do close at 8 a.m. The parade route is from Oxbow southbound to Highway 160 to Dandelion Street. It begins at 9 a.m. And you'll see us out there as well as the news vehicle. And we want to remind everybody once again that there is a talent competition Saturday right after the parade beginning at noon. Come on down, be part of that, and of course the pet contest, and there's all different categories including most look-alike, most talented, cutest pet, and things like that. And thanks to Camp K9 for donating the winning prize for that. We are going to be on stage all weekend long, lots of giveaways, lots of things happening, so we'll see you down there at the Fall Festival. And I'm Deanna O'Donnell. We'll be back here on Monday. Good night.